Hi, I'm Rob Curley. I'm so glad you're here. You all get to stay late in the library. It's pretty fun. So we've been doing Northwest Passages for 5 years. And I totally misnamed it when we started it because I called it a book club. And then we started hosting events like this. And we started having symphonies written for us and all sorts of weird things. And it's turned out to be an amazing thing. I don't know if you knew this, but the Spokesman-Review is one of the only newspapers in America where the community helps fund part of the journalism. And as a part of that, the community gets to own that journalism. So 28% of our newsroom's payroll is now funded by these sorts of things, including when last year we added a racial and social equity reporter. Well, we didn't, you did. So that's why we do things like this. And I remember when I first got to the Spokesman-Review, we were starting something called the Women of the Year, but I didn't want it to be like the CEO women. I wanted it to be the people who just get stuff done, who no one knows their name, who aren't looking for attention, so that their moms would be proud. So we had that, the Women of the Year, and that first year I nominated Sandy Williams because I loved her, and she didn't know me, and I got to meet her, and I said, I'm in newspapers, and it's struggling. You're in newspapers, and it's struggling. But you started a brand new newspaper for the black community in a white town. You're crazier than me. This is so awesome. I haven't met many people who are crazier than me. And from that moment on, we were buddies. And when she passed, one of the things that mattered the most to me was that the black lens wouldn't die. So if some of you were at her funeral, I'd said, we're not going to let it die. Well, we're working with her family now, and we're not ready to get it fully launched yet, but you should know that just having told people 2 or 3 weeks ago that this was going to happen, we already have the first year of it completely funded. That's incredible. So this is going to be a fun night for me because I get to try to embarrass Sandy in another world. This is what I used to do all the time. She would go, "God, you're not right." I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to come up and say hi. We have a big evening planned tonight, and first I think we're going to start with April. Is that right? When we put together this last year, we realized we needed some help, and we reached out to April Eberhardt. Is it Eberhardt? Right? Yes. Oh, I see you in front. So I was hoping that you could come up and say a few things. So.
Thank you all for coming to celebrate our young people. I'll start by saying that when I was in high school, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was a student journalist for the New Pittsburgh Courier and had published work, and it's a historically black newspaper, one of the first. So I remember the experience of working on a newspaper in the community, and I wanted to stimulate that in our young people. So I am grateful. I work at Shadle Park High School. I'm an English teacher, but my current job is as a career counselor. But I'm grateful to have been able to serve in this capacity. My Shadle babies know I stayed on them to submit work. And I also wanted to reach into the community and create spaces where kids could not only just write something, but learn as well. So the Links Incorporated, we did 2 workshops for 2 Sundays in January. And I was glad to see the middle schoolers turn out. So a lot of the work you're seeing is also work that was done by the middle school students who came to the 2 workshops. Had a couple students say, "Do you do this every month?" And I was like, "No, but we can." So I'm hoping that the Black History Youth Forum will be a continuing activity. Have a little flyer here because we are doing one in February on the 26th. So I want you guys to know that we want to keep this going because we have to pass on the wisdom and the knowledge. We have to create spaces. I don't know if you know what's going on in Florida, but right now we need to be the community that upholds the history that needs to be told, the stories that are not often shared. So we're having another workshop to continue. This was a catalyst. So we hope to be able to continue this, and it's a collection of hands on deck in the community. Our young people need to see us show up. They need to learn from us. They need spaces to be able to express. And I'm thankful for the village that came through, Jamie, Dr. Baines, I can't name everyone, Sherlyn, all of us who all came out, and anyone who wants to come out on the 26th. The theme will be Black Joy, Cultivating a Positive and Healthy Identity. I think this is how we water the garden of our youth. So thank you, I'm glad to have been a part of this. The theme is Sankofa. It's often the symbol that is used for the Black student unions in Spokane Public Schools, and it means to go back and fetch, to get. And I think if we want to continue the legacy of our ancestors, we need to remember where we came from. So I'll stop talking now. Thank you all. Thank you, Spokesman-Review. Thank you, everyone who came. And it takes a village to raise a child. Thank you.
Yeah, I could not have done this. April had the theme. My name is Christy Burns, and I work for the Northwest Passages Community Forum and help put these things together. In November, April came up with the theme and had prompts and had scheduled the workshops, which was really a great catalyst for the submissions. As she mentioned, we couldn't put all of them in the paper. The middle school work is over on that side. So I encourage you to take a look at it and read it, see it. It's really moving, and as they move up, supported by this fantastic community, it just made sense. I saw this book last year that Stephanie Courtney did, and it was an ebook, and it got published this year, and just seeing it and holding it is a beautiful experience, and one that I hope you all will be able to experience, because Janelle with Wishing Tree Books is in the back and has it. And it is my honor and privilege to introduce her now so she can talk about how the book came to be, what was important about including it. I mean, her story is fantastic, and the book is really incredible. Stephanie Courtney. And I know you don't like that, so you can walk.
Man, what a beautiful night. I am so humbled and just so grateful for our community. I want to tell you the story of this book, but I also want to read a little bit of it. So this book was actually written by our community, so hence the name. There's so many people in the audience that were a part of this project, and I just want to say first, thank you so much for trusting me with your photos, with your information, to create this. This is hopefully one of many so that we could preserve the history that we are creating currently and also in the past. Our community, Black leaders in Spokane. So I'm gonna try to hold this. I might need that little thing here because this is a brand new book, so it's a little bit crisp. You know what, can we?
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go.
Go like this, and then.
Sorry about the feedback, there you go.
It's okay, it's all right. I am smart enough like Steffi Nobles Beans. When I grow up, I can be a public speaker. I can be like Karen Boone and use my skills and talents to forge a better world. I can be like Kira Bauer and create safe spaces for children and families. I can be like Alethea Dumas and build supportive healing spaces for Black people. I can be a network engineer like Jason Courtney. I can be like Philip Tyler and partner with families to better our city. I can be like Lucretia Hill and advocate for our community. I can be like Michael Bethley and own a video production company. I can be a realtor and help people achieve their dreams like Latrice Williams. I am strong enough like Michael Moody. When I grow up, I can inspire our community to get healthy by owning a gym. I can be like Stephanie Tullis and own my own hair salon. I can operate my own business like Nikki Ray. I can be an artist and educator like Chantel Jackson. I can be like Natasha Hill, a civil litigation attorney. Like Natasha, I can run for Congress. I can be like Dr. Jenny Bain and be a professor at a university. I can be an award-winning diversity and inclusion expert like Dr. Roberta Wilburn. I am kind enough like Keonta Duncan. When I grow up, I can be a humanitarian. This is a person who seeks ways to make the world a better place. I can be like Nina Nichols and own my own bridal shop. I can be a makeup and hair artist like Kamisha Williams. I can be an artist and creative thinker like Tracy Poindexter Cannon. I can be a humanitarian like Tanisha and lift up other people. I can be a certified clinical medical assistant like Kiana Van Zandt. I can be an electrician like Dante Van Zam. When I grow up, I can be like Brittany Kennedy and inspire young basketball players. Like Jennifer Dixon, I can be an encouraging coach to young basketball and track and field athletes. I can be a cook and feed hungry people like Tavia Patrick. I can be a photographer like Alex Lockett. I am brave enough like Dua Raheem Williams. When I grow up, I can be a statewide organizer and advocate for housing justice. I can be like Lacey Olson and share my love for theater. I can be a creative storyteller like Amber D. Dodd. I can be a barber like Mr. Lee. I can be a fashion designer like Hannah Dixon. I can be in beauty pageants like Jada Graham. I can be like Jacqueline Sondevalt and help families create generational wealth. I can be like Faith Washington, an ICNE registered nurse, and promote patient health and wellness. I am wise enough like Dominique Wallace. When I grow up, I can be a doula and help people during their birth journey. I can be a business consultant like Lisa Gardner. I can be an educational researcher and fatherhood advocate like Tamara Bush. I can be a school counselor like Johnny Beans. I can be a health educator and coach like Prosperity Coleman. When I grow up, I can create a dance studio like Mona Martin. When I grow up, I can be like Sandy Williams. I can be a community leader who dreams big and stands for justice. I am me. Whatever I want to do, I know that I can do it. So many people are cheering me on. The Spokane community is growing strong. I am enough because you showed me I am. My community is my tribe that nurtured my roots and helped me grow into who I am today. Stephanie Courtney. So I just want to say a few things. I don't want to take up too much space, but everyone that was in the community book, can you please stand so that we could just share this moment with you in applause, please? I know this is embarrassing, but there's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's so important as yes, please give it up for them, because some people. So I'm going to tell you a funny story about this whole journey. So the Learning Project Network is a organization that focuses on different types of ways that we can share disparities, but also create solutions and put the power back into the community and say, we can actually do this. We don't have to always look to big organizations or certain things in order to solve the problems. And so I reached out to so many people. I emailed them and said, hey, can you submit a picture and a bio about yourself so I can create this children's book. And so many people were like, what are you doing? And why are you doing this? And what's going on? And some people were like, okay, try it. Let's do it. But I love this process because so many of you don't know how important you are to this community and so many others. This book was developed out of one of my courses that I teach for early childhood educators. And one of the teachers said, Stephanie, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I don't really know any Black people. And I know you're talking about Black history and you want us to add all of this current history into our class, but I really don't know anyone. So I said, you know what? I'm going to create something that will help solve this problem so our students can see people that look like them or are in their family or in our community. And so when I reached out to everybody and got all the information and got all the images, we uploaded this, we put it together. And when I say we, at the time it was just me and my baby. So that's my other employee. Not a good employee, however, very cute. And so we put this whole book together, and I remember when I saw the e-book, it was just so powerful to click through all of these different people that I had grew up with and learned about and have connected with, and just really found out how powerful our community is. But it was when I got the actual printed version that literally just made me cry. I work with teens and I work with middle schoolers and as well as in children in early childhood education. And so many of these kids need to see themselves in these different positions. And they need to know that I am smart enough like these people. I'm not saying you're perfect or you got everything together, but I am something. I was very intentional about putting I am smart enough like and I am strong enough like, because I want those affirmations to ring in a person's head. Every time you think you are not something, I want you to remember that you are something. And it's so interesting, even reading it out loud to my daughter, I thought about, all of the different people that may have just had a baby and going through transition and wondering their worth, and hearing them have to read out loud, I am this, I am that, and being inspired to not only read this to their child, but to remember who they are so deep inside when we are alone and we haven't told anybody what we're going through. And so I'm just so grateful to be a part of this space and for so many of you to be here tonight. The one thing that I want from this process or this book or this journey is that we will be inspired to, so I'm trying not to cry because I'm not going to do that. I want us to figure out a way that we can encapsulate Black history here in Spokane. So many times people move here and they don't see themselves and they aspire to leave Spokane as soon as they hit 18 or as soon as they finish college because they don't see anybody that looks like them. And so if we can figure out a way to preserve and to show how beautiful our Black community is, or our whatever intersectionality that you're in, to show that representation, that is powerful. And that gives a student, a child, a sense of identity that they can say, I am just like them and I don't have to settle for less because I can be brave like this person when I have to do something that is going to challenge me mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so I want to just take this time to say thank you for listening and reading along with me. And I hope that when you read this book to yourself, to your children, to your grandchildren, to your school, to whoever it may be, that you remember that we are brave enough to make the change that we want to see in our community and be more than what we ever thought we could be. Thank you.
right, I'm in the back here because I got to run this thing. But I wanted to tell you that this past year we had our second group of high school interns, and they're the only newspaper in the United States that has a paid high school internship. And guess why? Because you all helped me do that. And it's not really an internship as much as it's how do we go meet cool people that you can't believe will return our phone calls. And so they get to sit with amazing people for an entire summer. And Juanetia was one of our students last year who was a member, a part of all of what we're doing. And this year, she applied for the internship and got it. And she told me that we wanted her to introduce this year's high school winners. And she said, I'm too shy. And I said, well, Juanetia, you would sit in front of a sitting senator and ask the first 6 questions and then do the same thing with everybody. You're not shy. So she said, you're right, and she's going to introduce this year's members. Take it away.
Hi, guys. You didn't have to call me out like that. I am shy, just a little bit. I have social anxiety, but it's fine. Anyway, yeah, that was my backstory. My name's Juanetia. I'm a senior. I go to Rogers High School. I'm 18. Woo, yeah, adulting, so fun. But first, we're gonna have our wonderful stories that all these amazing kids have created, and we're gonna have Dante Lemire read his first. I believe he also has artwork as well, so I'm very excited. So let's have you come here. Oh, the afro is sick. I love your hair. The afro's tight. Yeah, that's good. I like your hair. That's smart. Okay, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Oh, the mic. Yeah, you gotta flick.
Help. Okay. I'm doing good. How about you?
Thank you for asking. I'm great. No one ever asked me that. Wow, that's crazy. I'm good. But okay, so this is your artwork. Would you like to explain it a little bit?
Okay, so the very first one with the trio of girls. This is like it's a picture from one a '90s R&B trio, SWV. I drew this because of how, like, based on the style of it, because it was like an early '90s like style, based on like the tracksuits, the pumps, all that, the earrings, all that, like a little bit. It's a little bit flashy.
Right.
And I also I like old school music, so I listen to like music from like the '70s to like the early 2000s.
Yes, as you should. Do you like Otis Redding?
Huh?
Do you like Otis Redding?
I don't know who that is.
Ooh, never mind. That's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll learn. Okay. Would you like to read your? Does he have his poem? No. Did you want to read?
Where is it?
You know what? I'm gonna just ask you about it. How about I do that? Okay. So
Okay.
what inspired you to write your piece?
Oh, okay. Like for that, the first one.
Yeah. Or like create your piece. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to quite like practice more of my drawing, because I wanted to make drawing more of a hobby for me, because it's been like a while. I haven't drawn since like since the beginning of school after COVID,
Oh, wow.
since like 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even a little sketch? Like a little.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to get like more used to it as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, would you say that, like, because you mentioned that you like a lot of old school like
Yeah.
music and stuff like that, so would that be like your big inspiration? Because I see like the colors and stuff definitely give like 90s.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure. So, how would you say that you have found your culture within, like, living in Spokane? Because like you got the afro and you got the you know. So I just
Yeah.
want to know, like, how'd you get on that?
Well, I based on how I feel connected based on the black culture in Spokane, I feel like I have like some sort of s- um like um like I'm trying to like bring a word up, so like 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 um I'm trying to say um yeah.
You're
I'm
good.
trying to hold you up. I'm trying to make like um representation like so a little bit, yeah, because we quite like because we are like a because we are like a less percent of like the city, so but we can still see each other because we can because we are like because because we could clearly like see like oh I don't know.
No, you're good. I get what you're saying. Yeah, there is a small percentage of us
Yeah.
here. So like that representation is very important. I feel like I saw you one time, and when I saw your like hair, I was like, wow, I need to get my life together, because I was like, like that needs to be me. I was like, you know, so that's very important. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely get that. So do you think that you face, like, what obstacles do you think you faced, you know, trying to connect with your culture? Do you think it's been not easy for you, but you've had like a route to take? Because I know a lot of people don't.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Was there anything else you'd like to touch on about like your artwork, or anything you'd like to say?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for talking
Oh.
with me.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna have Talina Moore. She's gonna come up and I believe read her piece and talk to us a little bit. It should be on. I love your earrings. Those are fire. Where'd you get them? What? Say you swear. Really? Ugh. No. Okay, she's gonna start.
So they told us to write a letter to our ancestors, how we view the world now. This is just a little bit of how I view it. Dear ancestors, what did you imagine for our generation's future? If I told you our truth, you'd swear it was a rumor. The world doesn't act like this war was won, and for some reason, they act like it's not done. I want to show that your pain was worth the fight. I want to lose my chains and clear my brain. My feet ache from the journey y'all walked. My voice is sore from talking my talk. I still feel the stains from the tears you cried. My arms are weak from showing black pride. The world is in battle. I still feel that paddle. We will scream, fight, run, and dream until we see your legacies. Things have changed, but not that much. Still all our issues getting swept under the rug. Please don't worry, we still got more time. Wash, repent, repeat.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that was really good. I loved it. Like even from the first like few sentences, I was like, ooh, that like hit me. That was yeah. So what inspired you to write your piece, and what was like a really big motivation for you to go about it the way you did, attack it the way you did?
So when they first told us to write a letter to our ancestors about like how the world is now, it took me a while because I only see things from a small point of view. I can't really speak for how everybody sees it right now. But I know, like, I do still see a lot of, like, struggle when it comes to it. So I wanted to throw that in there. A lot of things have, like, been spoke out, but there's still a lot of issues that we can't talk about yet. So I kind of just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, definitely. So what is something that you want the people reading your poem to really understand and know about like you through your poem? It's kind of a tough question. It is, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Just that strong, got this. There's so many struggles and all that we still face, but as long as we stick together, like,
Yeah, exactly.
as a community.
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. So what would you say is going to be something that's pivotal in your future and like pushing you forward through this?
Let's keep going. Being confident and being sure of my direction and kind of being that inspiration for the next generation.
Right, that representation. Yeah, definitely, because that's very important. But yeah, thank you.
Thank
I thought
you.
it was great. Okay, next we're gonna have Dante Crawford. Ooh, okay, he's coming up. Ooh, with the beanie. Ooh, yeah. Okay, Mr. Dripster. Okay. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Read whenever you would like.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get up for this one. Flame, with purpose and passion, not with hate or ridicule, but with love and sympathy. The wax descends like forsaken tears, or sweat of persistence and endurance. This flame can't shine bright under the threat of frigid storms. Only unified shield can keep the cold, bitter wind out, and lock it away for eternity. Some may burn under the heat of the flame, an attempt to amplify its light. Some will watch idly as the wax melts. Defeated, the sweat drips exhaustedly. The tears fall helplessly, paralyzed by the fear of getting scorched. This risk is too great. But for those hopeless tears, those chains holding us, serve to us as a reminder. The perseverance and bravery will erode with these chains and combat the darkness, no longer being the frigid storm, no longer tears of sorrow, but ones of hope, no longer in the darkness. Thank you. Thank you.
No, when you got done reading, I was like, damn, that was really good. That was good. No,
a-
absolutely not. I would never. Absolutely not. God forgive me. But anyway, so what was your inspiration for writing that, and how long did it take?
It took about a month or so, to be honest. My motivation was definitely Miss E. And just like the people around me, my family, just my friends, just, I don't know, just everybody really.
Yeah. Did you ever get that like fear like in you that's like, oh, is this like too much? Like people are gonna get like
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I felt that.
Yeah, definitely. Because that could be scary. Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like you found yourself in like those spaces, those safe spaces for African Americans, like within Spokane, like for yourself personally?
Yes, definitely. Especially because now I do like STEP and I work with the BSU and stuff. And so I'm always like out there, you know, with all my brothers and sisters, you know, hanging out. Just doing things, helping the community.
That's good. I love to hear that because people don't say that a lot. So that's really good. Also, love the earrings.
Thank
y'all see
you.
the drip is crazy. It's crazy.
Thank you.
But thank you for talking to me. And your poem was great. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I also have an art piece that I did too.
You have an art piece. He has
I
an art
do.
piece. Y'all,
It's been
we're
shown
not
up here
done.
quite a few times, actually.
I need to see this. Is it,
Yeah, that one.
oh, okay. So what's the meaning behind this piece?
So I took inspiration from like my own life and my own personal struggles. For instance, this candle is like my wants, my needs, and like just everything I aspire to be in my future. And I feel like holding on and trying to grab hold of that candle can be very hard sometimes, especially with like just school, family, obligations, just kind of like a whole lot of, I don't know how to put it, just like, it's just a lot of weight.
Right.
And it's heavy sometimes. And I know what it's like to be struggling. I used to live in Chicago. I was born and raised there. And it was very tough. It was very tough. Yeah. Scared to know, like, if you're gonna be, when you walk home, you're gonna be all right. Have to dodge people in corners and alleyways, and just always scared and fearful. I lost my mama in Chicago. And so, and I don't really have a mother and father figure in my life, so, and I've home bounced quite a lot, school bounced too. So it's been a struggle and a journey. And this light, this candle, knowing that there's a better future for me and like my kids and just generations below me, and I want them to really be able to be themselves, be safe, and just, oh, okay, sorry, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
But just be all right, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Yes. Did you hear that? Future generation. Did you hear that? Clap again. Clap. Yes. 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 Okay. Now we're gonna have. Forgive me if I say it wrong. Aisha Rodriguez. Yes. How are you?
I am good.
Good. Okay. What is it are you presenting anything?
I
Are you
did
reading
an
anything?
art piece.
Yes, okay. Let's see. Is this it? Wow.
Yes.
Yes. I should have seen this, but I'd love to see that. Okay, so tell us about this piece and like, what was your inspiration? That's really cool.
I would have to say my inspiration was my stepmom because she is one of the most powerful women in my life, let alone one of the most powerful Black women in my life. So that was my inspiration, and I really thought that Rosie the Riveter is one of the biggest and strongest female role models that I ever heard about in school. And I remember in 5th grade there was a play about her, and it kind of just was like, wow, I really feel like my stepmom plays this role in my life. Like, so that was kind of the biggest inspiration of it all.
Yeah, definitely. It looks amazing, for one. And how would you say, especially being an African-American woman, how do you think you face those struggles and obstacles? And luckily you have someone like your mom to be that really good representation, so.
I think my family is a big part of it because not only am I African-American, but I'm also Hispanic. So kind of always like not knowing what place I fit in is a biggest thing, because it's like, oh, well, you're Hispanic, but you're also African-American, but you're also white. So it's like, there's always these standards and these places that people want to put you in, but then you never really identify to one of them. So it's kind of just an all over the place, and I really like to express my roots to all of them, and that's probably the hardest part of all of it.
Well, that is beautiful. I think you're definitely doing a great job. What school do you go to?
I go to Shadle Park.
Oh. Okay, what grade are you in?
I'm in 9th grade. I'm a freshman.
What? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, well, I love that. Well, thank you so much.
You.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, now we're gonna have Donalda Bradley. We have class together. We go to the same school. If y'all didn't know, we go to the same school. Hey, Donalda.
Hello.
I didn't think it was on. All right.
I'm going to read my piece. Okay, so mine is just this writing I wrote called What Molds the Future. If you look up the definition of history, Google will tell you that it is the study of past events over time. Personally, my definition is a little different. History, to me, is what molds the future. With each breath we take, a moment has passed. With every second passing, a new moment is created. The clock is always ticking, and we are always moving forward, but it's crucial for our future to take a look backwards. We all know that the past is any moment that has already been lived. Often we get stuck in the been there, done that, or oh, I've already seen that mentality. So we forget what has happened in the passing moment. If we take it for granted, can we truly learn history? Everyone has heard the phrase, learn from your mistakes. And I am often told, nothing changes if nothing changes. So it is not a new concept to learn from the past, but we often get caught in the process of the present. We catch ourselves saying, oh, I was just in the moment. I'm not saying to live in the past, but it never hurts to remember what has been done and use that to build a better future. While every person is a product of the past, that does not mean we must repeat it. So as my words leave my mouth and create history along with every action I make, I hope to leave you with one memory. Remember not to focus only on the present moment, but take what you've experienced in the past to build a brighter future where you can have even better memories. Thank you.
Okay, so what inspired you to write your piece?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Mr. Dewey, who's out there, our English teacher, he did not give me the little prompt for this till like 4 days before, and then one night I couldn't sleep, so I was like, let me just write this out real quick and get it done, because, you know, I was procrastinating and did not take my time, so, yeah.
No, that's so crazy, because that's literally how I wrote mine. It was Mr. Dewey, literally sends you the prompt, and you just like, do it. But yeah.
That's our English teacher, y'all.
Yeah, that's our English teacher, by the way, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Hey, Mr. Dewey!
Okay, so what would you say was like because I know you say you like wrote it like, oh, you just woke up one night, but like, did you find any obstacles like writing it?
Well, I feel like whenever I'm giving something so important to talk about, I always overthink it. Like if it's some sort of essay I have to write, I'm like overthinking it. But if I just like look at it and do it in the moment, then I feel like that's when I strive the most, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So how do you think living in Spokane has contributed to you finding those safe spaces for yourself?
You know, being not only African American, but Native as well, I've struggled to find places where I really belong and like I feel like a lot of places, there's not a safe space where I can look where there's people who look like me or do the things I do. And that's not always a bad thing. Like, it's good to be different, but just knowing there's other people around that look like us and some people in the crowd, it makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, so what would you want the people listening to your poem to truly understand and acknowledge?
I would say to really just take your time and count your blessings, honestly, because you need to look around and appreciate what you have, because honestly, I have trouble doing that on my own, so that's a big inspiration for what helped me write that as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're gonna have Howie. Howie, yes? Yeah, she's here. Howie, how do you say your last name? Jabena. I did not want to butcher it. Jabena. Ooh, you tried to trick me. Jabena. It's pretty. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so do you have an art piece or you reading?
Yeah, I submitted 3.
3? Okay, Miss Overachiever. Okay. Let's see. Ooh.
Yes.
What? You explain. Yes.
Okay. So this one is of my family on my mom's side. So the dude on the left is my great grandpa. The one to the right is my great aunt, and that's my mom's cousin. So they supported my mom, and she lost her mom when she was younger, and she grew up, and my aunt took her in, and she's come over here and started from scratch in America and made a better life for her with my dad as well. And yeah, that's them. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
I really like it. I love it a lot. Oh, okay. So what's the inspiration for this piece?
So that's my mom. And so this is like a generation after the first one. And the second one was the baby who was crying earlier. So that's her, the cute one. Yeah. Oh, my mom too. But they, yeah, it's inspiring to see another generation grow after the previous one and see love. The flowers are called mezcal, and they represent like love, and they come up in the springtime, and they're native to Ethiopia, and yeah, it's just like love and joy springing from a different new generation, a stronger one, and continue to persevere from that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Okay. Now this one. I like this one.
So yeah, I did this like I didn't do it recently, so it was like 2 years somewhere before, and this one just I like how the bird's standing and how he's looking out, and he's looking it's looking out in anticipation, and how it like doesn't want to stay in its comfort zone, and it's looking out and it's waiting for its new opportunity to go somewhere. And I like how the reflection, I did the reflection my own, like without a reference, and it's like distorted to me, and it's like your image is always changing and you're always trying to figure it out. And yeah, finding meaning through that.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. And like for anyone who doesn't draw, do you like that is hard because like especially without a reference, like the reflection, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
was easy, it was just like swirls.
right. It's like literally just
It's fun.
swirls. So
Yeah.
how did you go about like it's like a detailed question, but like I noticed in the first painting your colors are more like blue and like a lot of browns and stuff, and the second one was more I think yellow. So it was like
Yeah.
did you know that you were going to create these back to back, or did they just so happen to?
No, so in my portfolio, I unintentionally had like purple colors in one piece and like yellow. It's just like what I'm feeling for each color, and I was like, yeah, I just mix those paints, and I didn't do it intentionally, but now it's just guiding me and going through the colors, I guess. I don't. Yeah.
So what did you hope to get across with your paintings, especially when you showed like your mom?
Just proud of where I come from and my family and the generations before me and how strong our community is. We have an Abisha community here, and they're very strong, and they are always hardworking, and I admire that immensely, and I want to be like that as well. And I just like to communicate that through my art, and it's also enjoyable. So yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
your
you.
art is amazing. Right, me too. I'm like, wow. Sorry. That was really good. Like your art, mine looks like trash compared to that because that is like really good. But anyway, okay, let's have Grace Kellogg come up. Ah, Grace! Oh, Grace. Okay, I met Grace was it Saturday? It was Saturday when we first met. Yeah, guys, prepare. Hold on to your seats. It is really good. It is really good. I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay.
So, whitewashed. When you look up that definition, the only thing Google can tell you is to intentionally hide some kind of wrongdoing, error, or unpleasant situation. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how wearing sweaters in the fall and drinking lattes could give me such a label. And I especially didn't understand why the word whitewashed hurt me the way that it did. Act more black. You're being a basic white girl. Oh, you have white parents, don't you? Act black, act white. I was both. Why couldn't I just be both? Why did I have to grow up with the reality that racial profiling and ignorant remarks were inevitable? A white woman in grocery stores would waltz up to me without warning, dig a hand into my curls and twirl one around her finger, and with wide eyes, they would all say the same thing. It's beautiful. How do you manage to take care of it? I grit my teeth, mutter a thank you, and get along with my day. I didn't understand why I was so different, why people saw me in such a different light as soon as I would explain that I'm adopted. 12 years old was too young to be having an identity crisis that I couldn't tell anybody about because everyone in my life was white. 12 years old was too young to wish I didn't look the way that I did. That my curls would fall flat and my melanin would disappear into something a little paler. I felt alone, like no one else in the world understood what I was feeling, and telling my parents or any of the girls from school would make me a burden, so I kept the feelings to myself. Now, 5 years later, my older brother married a black woman, and together they had my niece, Naomi. It wasn't until I got to hold her for the first time that I realized that her brown is beautiful. How could I love Naomi's brown and hate my own? I couldn't. I want nothing more to be the person that she looks to for guidance when she has questions of her own. So, as a brown girl in Spokane, a predominantly white town, I can only speak from my own perspective. But I can say when the name calling and shaming from my white peers happens, a majority of it comes from a place of stereotypes and preconceived notions. It took me a long time to realize that I can do the things that make me happy even if they don't fit into anybody's cultural expectations. Over the past 5 years, I've grown to love my brown skin and my curls, even though it took a lot of shaming and name-calling to learn that I will never make anyone happy. Everyone happy. I want to make people happy. Terms like whitewashed are arbitrary and meaningless. This type of thinking that people of color must think or act a certain way is inherently racist. I get to decide my future, and my niece will get to decide hers. Brown is beautiful, and no one will ever again get me to believe anything different. These are some tall stools. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, that was amazing. Every time you read it, I love listening to it. But how did you feel when you were done typing it? Like it was all finished, like the corrections were done. Like how did you feel? Like did you have any identity shift, or were you just like, wow, like
I'm done. I'm done. Now I just gotta turn it in, and it'll be fine. It'll be so fine. It's great. No, but I just felt like I could finally share what I felt with other people. And at first I was a little afraid that I would be the only one who felt like this, because again, I did grow up in a white family, and it's like, just me. But it's not. It's a bunch of people, and it was so cool to see like a bunch of you guys like turn in stuff and feel the same way. Like I didn't know that existed. Like I asked my mom when I was 4 years old, like, am I the only white girl, a little brown girl in the universe? Like, this is a little weird, but yeah, it just feels really good to know that like people understand and people feel the same way. So.
Yeah, it's like that sense of relief because you're like, oh, I'm not alone.
Like, thank God.
Thank God. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, definitely. But what do you want people to truly understand about what you wrote, and not just listening to it, but what do you want them to receive?
Probably to not put labels on Black. Like, Black within itself is a statement, and it's powerful, and it's big. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that because they're afraid that they're gonna say something wrong, or like, ooh, like, that's a little dicey, I don't know. But no, like, Black is powerful, and I didn't know that until, like, my niece, and watching her get big and grow, and I'm like, you are gonna grow up in Spokane, and you're gonna know what that's like, and I want you to look to me and be like, what do I do? Like, so.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much. She's actually the last reader, so let's give a clap for Omar Green. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Glad we got to do this.
Someone was short. So when we did this last year, we brought our friend Mandy Price here, and she was so amazing that we asked her if she could come back again. And there's a big movie that's about to debut on Amazon Prime, And the world debut of that, the trailer for that movie dropped today. So at some point during this conversation, we're going to make sure that you get to see it, because it's the reason that's important is Mandy produced it. So let's run a little video about our friend.
You regretted me and I regretted you. You couldn't handle your liquor and you can't see the end of the truth.
You write songs about who you wish you were, not who you are. What if you wrote songs about the guy that maybe wants things that he shouldn't?
It's a common theme you hear about Spokane. Kids can't wait to grow up and get out. Mandy Price was no different. She set her sights on Hollywood, where the only connections she had were on Delta via her job as a customer service agent. Combining her experience as a KHQ video news editor with her boundless enthusiasm and LinkedIn skills, Mandy landed work in the post-production element of television.
You could go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another lonely day. You can go your own way. Go your own way.
I still get like butterflies. Like, it's still such a surreal experience to like see my name. My contribution is on screen in everywhere. You just may not know my name because I'm not an actor, I'm not a director. I'm not the conduit, but where I am is kind of everywhere.
Look, I know that I said that I would tell you everything. But how much of everything do you really want to know?
Her credits continue to grow, working alongside some of the most creative producers in the business who want to tell stories that audiences relate to and stories that matter. Because representation is important. Mandy Price is part of that revolution. Joining her in conversation tonight is her friend and Spokesman-Review columnist, Keonta Duncan. Please welcome them both to the Northwest Passages stage.
We are on. So listen.
Wait. Oh, yes, I am.
Mandy is actually my friend. We have spent the last several New Years together at my house. We have a party every New Year's Eve. And so it is not a friendship that's just for events like this. We're actually friends. That's what they call it, right? Friends?
Friends.
Friends. And so I'm excited to be here tonight to share in conversation with my friend with you all. But we're going to call a bit of an audible. The good thing is that Christy Burns and Rob Curley, the editor of the Northwest greatest magazine, newspaper, the Spokesman-Review, allow me to take time to do the things that feel important to me. And so, did you all enjoy those conversations with the students? My mind is blown. And because of that, I want to invite them to come back to the stage. Can you guys come back? And then I want to invite Stephanie Courtney to come back. And I want to invite everybody who is in the book to come back. So I saw a few folks. If you're in the room and you were in the book, come back, come to stage, please. Natasha Hill, Kira Bauer. Who else is in the room? Dr. Jeannie Baines. Yes, can we have some chairs? Somebody help us out with chairs and get them up here as quick as possible.
you don't know Keonta, this is typical.
It is.
Of just like, you think one plan and then all of a sudden something
There's
changes.
always another plan.
This is always how it is.
April
While we're-
Eberhardt, come on up.
Yeah, while we're getting chairs, Rob Curley, like, thank you for that amazing intro video. Like, that was amazing, thank you.
Okay, now we have enough chairs. Now we got people
Yeah,
to sit in.
are we good?
So there's some other key folks that I want to call up that are also in the audience that I see. Jamie Stacy Perkins, come on up. I was just about to say, come, stop playing with me. Come on up here. Let me say, first of all, I want you all to clap your hands for her. You are literally one of the dopest young women I have ever met. One of the dopest young women that I have ever met. And if you are this dope at 18, when you get to my age, 50, you're gonna be so fresh. I will travel the world to come see you. I mean that. I mean that. I mean that. Okay, let me see who else is in the room I need to pay attention to. Stephanie, come on up. Nicole Rosenkrantz. Come on up, Nicole Rosenkrantz. We need you. It's a bit hard for me to see with the light in my eye. Sister Shirley, president of the Links, please come on up. Thank you. Sister Spokane, Black Spokane, come on up here. You know who I'm talking to. Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Yes, ma'am. Don't even look down at that phone. Come on up. You know I'm talking to you. Miss Sylvia Brown, come on up. Okay, move quickly. Okay. Anyone that I miss, charge it to the head, not the heart, because I can't see that far back. All right. So this is what I want to make sure that we do today. Those of you who are students who shared your work with us today and shared your words with us, you all need to understand how to get to these levels, to these folks. And those of you who are these folks, you all need to understand that they got to find out how to get to where you are. So how do we impart wisdom to them to help them understand? And how do you all help us understand what you want us to know about you? It's not just about us teaching you something. How do you teach us the things that we need to know about you? How do you teach us your experiences? You are going to change the world. Really, these ladies back here, they old. You see, I didn't say me. They are old. Oh, Miss Dua said them on this side. See, they're older. They've been around the block. Some of them many times. And so there are things that you know that we don't. Mandy is a great example of someone who grew up in this town just like you. Mandy was adopted just like you. Mandy, will you tell her?
I was adopted just like you. no, true. Like enough of the like. My family's all right there. Like they're sitting in the front row. That's my family.
White family,
White
will you
family,
stand
all
up?
Of them. All of them.
Mandy's white
But
family, stand up.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Praise. I have younger brothers who are also adopted. They're sitting back there, but don't ask them to. Oh,
No, you guys don't stand up.
they don't want to.
Okay.
But yes, so we have a very similar story. I have felt the same feelings you have more often than not, and I will say, quite frankly, like this is the most Black people I've seen in Spokane in my whole life.
Because
like
this is
one
just
room.
this is probably all of
So
them.
like this is it. But this is I am constantly amazed at how like coming back into LA or from LA to hear of just like the growth that I am visually seeing. So that is that what you wanted? I don't
Yes.
know.
And then here's something
Yes,
else
Miss
you need to
Keon.
know. Natasha Hill, raise your hand. Natasha Hill grew up in Spokane just like you too. Stand up and just demonstrate your hair, please. You see them curls? They look just like your curls. You could be sisters. Well, she would be your mom because she's old too.
That is true. That is true.
So she could be your mom or grandma. Got it. You understand what I'm saying. And she grew up right here in this city just like you. Natasha, did you ever experience the things that she was talking about?
Oh, absolutely. And
There's a mic right there in front of you.
I wasn't adopted, but I did grow up here in Spokane. All my family's white as well. And they're really the ones who taught me how to advocate and call white people out on their racism because they had to. They didn't have a choice. So I definitely felt a lot of those feelings, and I feel you're much braver than I was at your age, all of you, to even get up here and speak and have that confidence. I also was very shy. I know a couple of you mentioned that. I was not into public speaking and never thought I would go to law school and be able to stand up in front of court and advocate for other people. So it's totally possible. And I went to LA like Mandy.
It's warmer. We escaped the winter.
It is a weather thing, yes.
Some of the women who are here, and all of these folks are accomplished in their own way, and they do business in their own ways. They started out just like you. You're from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest. From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right around the corner from Chicago. I know what it feels like to wonder if you can make down that alley. I understand that. I understand that. And I would love to be a part of your life after this day, when there is no audience. When there's no audience. I mean that. What you do from this moment in Spokane can change your life. Can change your life. And while you may not have a mother, I personally know every single one of these ladies. Every single one of them. Please raise your hand if he can call you if he needs something. They don't have to give you their phone number because I'll give it to you. I will give you their phone number. I will give it to you. I'll text all of their numbers to you. Seriously, I have them. Your art, Mandy, what did we say about her art?
There were no words.
Mandy said, we can go home now.
Yeah, I was like, can I just go home?
We can just
I
go
don't know,
home.
I don't need to be here. You're amazing.
Amazing. Where are your parents at?
Next
Stand
to
up.
mine.
Stand up. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not Habesha, okay? But I know something about it. You know that? I know this. Can I please come to one party? Just one. Just let me. I'll clean the tables. I'll do whatever. Because she is going to be famous. She will change the life of your family. That girl is talented. 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 And she is Ethiopian, and she is proud, and she is black, and I am proud. These women on this stage are proud of her. Ain't y'all proud of her? All of them are proud of her. Thank you for bringing her to Spokane. Thank you. I would like to give all of the ladies in the back an opportunity to speak one quick sentence of life into these young folks. So pass the mic really quickly. You got to tell them something. You got to tell them something.
I'll just go with you, never give up on yourselves. You are your greatest investment, and you are absolutely worth it. That doesn't mean life doesn't come with trials and tribulations and financial demands and all that stuff. But know that no matter what, you are worth everything, and to always put yourself first. Never let anybody tell you that that's being selfish. That is the most important thing that you can do for anybody that you love.
Absolutely.
I think the one thing that I would say to you all, is be fearless. Don't let anyone take your voice from you. Know that there is room at the table for you and you belong. Your people, your ancestors, those that have come before you, they have contributed, they have given so that you can be. Be exactly who you are and be fearless in that space.
Mm-hmm. And not just your ancestors like Harriet Tubman them. These ancestors, these women right here, they came before you so that you can.
You know I don't like speaking.
I didn't ask you that.
And that's what I do for a living, right? So I'm going to say love yourself, because that's very important. Know your worth and know your voice. Your voice is powerful. I'm not the most articulate, but I will speak my piece and speak my truth. So speak your truth and speak from your lens, and don't be afraid to speak it.
That's right. That's right.
So the former ladies took bits and pieces of what I want to say to y'all. But what I will say is believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Believe in yourself. Know your worth. You're important. You guys have so much talent. And I don't know if you know how good you are. Know it, believe it. Believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
The only thing I would say is be you. Be true to yourself. Don't try to fit in.
Mm-mm.
Just be individual and be who you are. That'll take you the furthest. I had to do that. I had to be me and not fit in. I grew up in Spokane back in the olden days.
Wasn't that about 1860?
Something like that.
Okay, got it.
I went to a school where there was only 37 of us, and 7 were in my graduating class, and it was hard. But just be you. Don't try to fit in. Like, I did my own thing. That'll take you far. Know your worth, as everybody else said, but be you.
Wow.
I would say that not that long ago, I was sitting in the front row, and there's such a short distance between
Jamie,
me and the
no,
front row.
no,
I can go in the front.
no. It was long ago. It was a while, guys.
So I'm Jamie Stacy. I'm the founder and executive director of SWAG, and that's Strong Women Achieving Greatness. And I'm happy to see Donalda and Juanetia here as they are participants of SWAG. I would say what I always lead with is the way that SWAG defines strong is confidence. Confidence in understanding what your limits are while honoring help from others. That's what it means to be strong. You know what you're capable of, but you can't do it all. Accept that, embrace your community.
Thank you, absolutely.
Hello, I am not from Spokane, but I grew up in the area similar to Spokane. Just remember, it takes a village, as Miss Keonta Duncan said, lean on the people who you can trust and who will support you and give you that push. Listen to the stories of your grandparents, great-grandparents, they're alive, and your parents and your teachers. And always remember, you stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. They've instilled perseverance, courage, and love, and hope. We have hope for the future. So again, believe in yourself, love yourself, and know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Absolutely.
Okay, I know I'm only 18.
You are on the wrong row.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What just, wait, no, I'm sorry. You cannot, you barely made 18. Pass the mic.
I was about to say, can I
Pass the mic. You tried it. Go on up there. Have a seat. You tried it. No, ma'am. You just turned 18 27 minutes ago. Have a seat. Sit on down. Hush. Hi.
Hello. So what I would say is walk in boldness. And when I say walk in boldness, that doesn't mean that you don't get nervous, that you don't question, should I be here? Just here in the back of your mind, absolutely I should be here. Continuing to walk in boldness. I'm leading by example because I do not public speak.
Ever.
I tried to hide in the back and Miss Keonta found me. But here I am, walking in boldness. I'm up here, so thank you for everything that you've done tonight because you actually already spoke into me, into my soul. And I mean it, into my soul. Every single one of you who came up here reminded me why I do what I do and why I show up in community. So thank you.
Good evening. The one thing that I want to say to all of you, do you. Do not allow others to tell you who you are and what you can do. I grew up in Miami, Florida. People think the South and Florida, it's still like this in a lot of places. My husband and I grew up in the same city. I grew up on the right side of town, if you get my drift. I was one of 6 in a graduating class in Miami, Florida. Can you imagine that? Do not allow anyone to tell you who you are and what you can do. Always believe in you. Have your own voice. Thank you.
I just want to say to you all the same thing that Sandy Williams said to me when I decided to make big, bold moves. Do not be ashamed of being Black. Sometimes spaces will make you feel like you should be small or you should not talk about the cultural part of yourself that you so want to share. And that also means understanding the full spectrum of Black. Black does not come in just one shape, form, or size. We come in all colors. We are connected with all cultures, and you can be both unapologetically. Do not be afraid of greatness.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes, Ms.
Keonta.
McLean, yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, my biggest thing I want to impart to you is that you're going to walk in a space that you may not see you, but you walk in that space and own it. Don't be afraid because of the color of your skin and you may not belong. You have that space to be able to belong in there. And that is what I do. I go to events. 9 times out of 10, I am the only one. But I am going to be there. We have to be present in this city. We can't hide and look for us to be there. We have to look for us and bring us to where we're at. So that is the biggest thing I want to impart to you. And my mantra, I live and love the skin I am in. Speak that words every day.
Thank you. Miss April? Miss April, let me tell you, she tried it too. She tried it. She's sitting in the front like she's 13, but she's not. Come on, Miss April, give us your words.
Doing the workshops really helped. It filled my soul. And one of my favorite African proverbs is, where you sit when you are old determines where you stood in your youth. You're on a journey. This is a part of your journey. Please understand the power that you have, and also understand the power of humility and the power of community as well. But understand, you're building right now. You're building. And when you're going to be sitting in your old age, it's going to be the factors of what you did right now. And then how can you pass that torch on to the ones coming after you? It's important because we survived as a people. We survived a lot through legacy. Listen to your elders. That's what I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, one last thing, well, two things. One, you all can find out and read about Mandy and I. Google us. You can read out. So I need to tell you about that. Support the show. Watch it. It's amazing. Everything Mandy does is amazing. So just check that out. There are books in the back that Stephanie Courtney brought along that she does not want to take back with her. If you have $13.80, please buy a book. You don't need to be black to buy that book. White children enjoy black books too. I know, surprise. So please be willing to take a book home with you tonight. But I feel like the most important thing that we can do to celebrate Black History Month is to allow the last words to be from you all. So you all now get to give us some advice, give us some parting words, and how we can be better, how we can work better with your generation. So each of you give us your parting words. Let's start with you.
I would probably just say to, even if you don't understand, go with the motions and be there for your kids or younger people, even when you feel like they can do it on their own.
Okay.
I would say is everything is changing, and we would like if you would be more flexible and like open-minded. Not to say that you can't have questions and question it, but like open-mindedness.
Okay, wait, before we go to the next person, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I can remember all of these passwords better? Because I forget all my passwords every day. Is there something I can do about that?
Yeah. Use the same one multiple times.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, thank you for that. Next.
I'm gonna steal from one of my favorite content creators. Their name is Demetrius Harmon, and they actually have their own clothing brand, which is something I want to have when I'm older. But their saying is you matter, and that really goes along with that everyone has been saying. Just remember your worth in that you matter. Yeah.
Did you just tell us we matter?
Yeah, all of us.
Wow. I'll cry right now. Wow, thank you.
Mine would be support is the best thing you can do for someone, and I feel like being vocal about that, and also just showing everyone faith and belief in them as well, and that definitely helps with how you feel about yourself and how you convince others that they are worthy of their aspirations and their dreams, and that they can do them if they put hard work into it as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I'm only 18, so I don't.
Oh, now it's your turn. It's your turn now.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I would say that if you have dreams or aspirations, whatever they are, to never give up on them. Even if people are second guessing and saying like, oh, you can't do that, never put any negative self-talk on yourself or what you want to do. And I believe in that extremely, because I don't think I'd be here right now if I had a lot of negative self-talk about myself. So always affirm yourself that you are great. Even if somebody says the opposite, what do they know? You said it, so it must be true. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's good advice for us. Thank you. Good.
I would have to say just kindness. Be kind to people. Smile, wave. It does so much that you don't even really know. And prayer. Kindness and prayer. Those are the two big things. God is good, and we got to remember that. So be kind and just pray.
That's excellent.
It's going to help you get through it. So.
Thank you.
I would probably just have to say, just being there for one another, community.
Thank you.
I think there should be like some sort of like perseverance. Like try to be like determined. Like if you still don't know for like a certain goal or something like that, or you try to have like some sort of like destiny or legacy, just don't never give up on that. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Mandy, do you want to close us out?
With a last word?
Yes.
Be grateful, be kind, be humble. Love life. Life is great. I think for me, there were a lot of moments where I didn't love it. It was really hard. It was really sad and a lot of heartbreak. And I am grateful that I get to wake up every day and do a job that I love more than anything in the world. And I have a family who loves me and stands by me in my crazy decisions to do whatever the heck I decide to do. But just be grateful and kind and love, love, love. Love is love is love is love.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.